Hokkaido, the northernmost region of Japan, also known for being a go-to place for getting some ice cream, skiing, or getting away from your cats. I recently visited a few places in Hokkaido, such as the capital city of Sapporo, the hot spring town of Noboribetsu, and Hakodate, known for having some amazing views. Enjoy the video. First things first, I checked into Hotel Resort Trinity, which I would definitely recommend staying. This hotel is just a short walk away from Odori Park and Odori Station, making this a very convenient location, and they also have an indoor onsen style bath. After the check-in, I went to grab some much needed coffee and my very first ice cream at Oniyama Coffee Stand. They had a set that came with a drink and a soft serve ice cream, which sounded perfect, especially after a long flight. I got a espresso soft serve along with a latte. The ice cream itself was delicious and exactly what I needed to cool down from the summer heat, and pairing it with the latte was a perfect combination. While heading over to dinner, I stumbled upon a manhole cover exhibition in Sapporo Station. The exhibition itself showcased all different manhole cover designs around Japan, and it was very interesting, especially seeing all of the different designs that captured the vibes of the city or the town. For dinner, I went to Tokachi Butadon Ipin that serves a hearty bowl of grilled pork slices on top of a bed of rice. I got the dish with a small portion of rice as well as a tofu side dish. The tofu itself had a umeshi or plum kind of sauce on top of it, which really helps cut back on the grilled and fatty taste of the pork slices. Butadon, meaning a pork bowl in Japanese, was one of the very first dishes I saw when I was researching what foods to eat in Sapporo, and this restaurant did a really great job searing the pork, giving it a nice grilled taste. They also grill it in front of you so you can see how they make it as well. After dinner, I made my way to Tanuki-Goji shopping street to walk around, take a look at the stores, and of course, Hakodate. Before my jet lag kicked in, I did stop by Kinotoya Bake, that was known for their cheese tarts and ice cream. The ice cream was definitely a great way to end the night, being a little bit on the sweeter side than most ice creams that I've had, but this was probably my favorite ice cream in Sapporo. The cheese tart itself was delicious, however I did bring it back to my room to eat, so it wasn't as fresh as it could have been, and I didn't have any way of reheating it. Next time I'll probably eat it on the spot instead of bringing it back to my room. The next morning I went to Nijo Market, which is a fish or seafood market in Sapporo. Walking around, I passed by a restaurant called Ganin, which seemed to have a lot of Japanese people waiting in line for. I wasn't really sure why it was so popular or whether or not it was worth the wait, but since I saw a lot of Japanese waiting in line, I decided to join them. After waiting for a very long time, I finally got inside to order a much-deserved nonburi with salmon sashimi, Hokkaido scallops, and ikura, also known as fish eggs. While the menu itself was all in Japanese, Google Translate did the job, and I was able to speak with the staff in English to help get my order in. Don't worry, the color on your phone isn't broken. Those scallops are actually orange, and it was totally unexpected. By the way, they also had free self-service coffee in the corner, and I only knew about it because I saw multiple people getting up and pouring themselves a cup. I would say the freshness of the seafood was great and definitely worth a try if you're in the area, though I would probably not suggest that you wait as long as I did. Now, I waited for 2 hours for this place. Don't do that. As great as the dish and the seafood was, it definitely was not worth waiting 2 hours for this place, but I decided to wait mainly because of curiosity, and I didn't have anything else planned until later in the afternoon. With my late breakfast finished, I made my way to Shiroi Koibito Park that was Halloween themed at the time, with a pumpkin carriage and a few other decorations spread around. Now, if you've ever had a friend that visited Japan or you went to a local supermarket, you may have seen a package of cookies like this. These are the popular Shiroi Koibito cookies that come from Hokkaido. They come with a piece of chocolate sandwiched between two cookies and make for a great snack to pair with a cup of tea or coffee in my case. I also arrived just in time to catch a little show that they had on the clock tower. Not entirely sure what the show was about, but it was pretty fun to watch for a few minutes. The park also had a factory tour which I did not go on, but instead I visited the shop which had a few unique items like different flavored chocolate cookies, their very own wine, and some curry. Speaking of curry, it was now time for lunch. I made my way back to Odori Station to eat at Tonkatsu Aoki, where I got myself a pork loin cutlets with curry. The curry was nice and savory with a hint of spice, and the tonkatsu itself was beautifully fried with a nice mix of lean and fatty pieces. I generally like to get tonkatsu with curry because I get to dip the tonkatsu in the curry sauce and enjoy the extra flavor. As if tonkatsu on a bed of rice wasn't enough carbs, I went to grab some Sapporo beer at the Sapporo Beer Museum and learn about their history as well. Even if you're not interested in Sapporo beer or beer in general, it was really interesting learning about the history and seeing how the company grew and adapted with the times to become an iconic brand it is today. The self-guided tour takes about 45 minutes to an hour and ends at the Star Hall, where you can order some of the beer that became a staple. Adding on to the carb-loaded day, I ordered the draft beer sampler, which came with the Black Label, Classic, and Kaitakushi brews. While it would be recommended to share the sampler if you go as a group so that everyone can get a taste, it would also be perfectly normal to enjoy all 3 beers to yourself to your heart's content. I'm not an alcoholic, right? Right? Ending the night, I went to Susukino to grab myself a nice bowl of Sapporo ramen to warm myself up from the summer rain at Sapporo Ramen Haruka. I got a side of gyoza and the Sapporo special, a bowl of miso butter corn ramen. This style of ramen is known to encapsulate Hokkaido, which is known for their dairy products as well as their corn. The gyoza felt like it could have used a little bit more love and attention, as it wasn't as crispy as I would have loved for it to be. The ramen was surprisingly light with a surprising balance of miso taste. Even when the butter melted, it didn't have a oily aftertaste to it that you usually get from eating something cooked in butter or bathed in butter. If anything, it brought out the miso flavor more, it made it more enjoyable as you kept eating the ramen. Starting a new day at Morihiko Coffee, I got the morning coffee, which is just a standard brewed coffee, alongside a strawberry fruit sandwich. I don't usually get fruit sandwiches, especially for breakfast, and I would rather enjoy the cake version of this any time of the day, but this was one of the reasons why I decided to stop by this coffee shop, because the fruit sandwich did seem to be pretty good from the pictures that I saw. The fruit sandwich has a surprisingly light cream that wasn't too sweet, making it very easy to eat, especially when paired with a cup of coffee. Now that I'm caffeinated, I hopped on the subway to the other side of Sapporo to Toraton Sushi Maruyama. This is a conveyor belt style sushi spot that has a convenient tablet with pictures for most items, making it a lot easier to order for anyone that can't read Japanese. For those of you who can't handle wasabi, there is an option to remove the wasabi from the sushi, so make sure you double check before making your order. Here I got the king crab sushi. The king crab here was sweet and juicy. Next up was a piece of Hokkaido scallop, which was really fresh, and a grilled beef sushi, which is lightly torched and melted in my mouth. Of course, I had to get a sushi staple and went for the fatty salmon. Don't need to say more. This is a very nice piece of salmon, and I definitely would have ordered more of this if I wasn't trying to eat a variety of sushi. Following up with another staple, I ordered a tuna trio that contained a piece of fatty tuna, lean tuna, and albacore tuna. All 3 pieces were delicious, all in their own way, and at this point I was getting stuffed. Starting to reach the end, I got some shrimp, which were juicy sweet, a chawamushi, which is steamed egg with some soup broth, uni, otherwise known as sea urchin, which has a nice creamy texture and didn't have a strong seawater taste. And lastly, ending my meal, I got my favorite, eel. On the left is the freshwater one, commonly known as unagi, which is my favorite, and on the right is the saltwater one, also known as anago. Both were delicious and was a perfect way to end my meal. Walking around Odori Station, I stopped by for my second cup of coffee at Marumi Coffee. The staff here were very friendly and patient in explaining the coffee and the beans they used. I got a drip coffee and was able to select the type of beans that I wanted, which rarely happens. Heading over to Odori Park, I took a break and got a freshly grilled corn to enjoy on this cloudy, rainy day. Walking around some more, I went to Gokusen to buy some matcha powder and hojicha powder to bring home and enjoy. I also got a cup of matcha and matcha ice cream as well to help digest all of that sushi that I just ate. The owners of the store were very friendly and were more than happy to talk matcha to anyone that was interested. So with my poor planning, I did waste some time, so I made my way back to the city where I got some early dinner at Daruma. Daruma serves up a very well-known dish in Hokkaido called Genghis Khan. And if you can tell by the naming, it is aptly named after Genghis Khan. The dish here is lamb focused, and this is a very lamb-focused barbecue dish in Hokkaido. And if you do some research about what things to eat in Hokkaido, this will generally be one of the first things that pops up, given how popular it is in the area. Here you are ordering by the serving size of the lamb, and with each order you get some onions and green onions to pair with the dish. The lamb was delicious, however it was a bit pricey given the serving size that you get per order. Now with another food-filled day completed, I went back to my hotel to catch some Z's and prepare for the next day, which I was looking forward to the most because I was going to the onsen town of Noboribetsu. Before leaving Sapporo, I got some breakfast at a little shop called Mog. This seems to be a family-run shop that specializes in sandwiches. They also have bento boxes as well. I got the egg sando, tonkatsu, and the grape with cream sandwich. Trust me, this is the last fruit sandwich you'll see in this video, I promise. While these sandwiches are about half the size of the ones that you can get at a convenience store, the bread itself does make a difference between the ones at Mog and something that you could get from, say, 7-Eleven or a Family Mart. I brought the sandwiches to Odori Park to enjoy under the nice weather that day, and they also make for a very great road trip snack. Leaving the city life for a bit, I hopped on the Shinkansen to make my way to the onsen town of Noboribetsu. This is a very great weekend getaway location, especially if you're trying to get away from the stress at work. Checking into Noboribetsu Grand Hotel, there was a dinner buffet that starts at 6:30 p.m. and because of that I had just enough time to explore the town and take in some sights. I saw a few there along the way, and at the center there was a spot where you can see the heat rising from the hot springs and the smell of sulfur, which, if you didn't know, smells like rotten eggs. It's supposed to be roughly a 20-minute walk from the onsen town of Noboribetsu. I need to figure out how to pronounce it, but it's pretty steep. Oh, it's about a 20-minute walk, but I'm already out of breath because you do go up a little hill, a little slope in order to get there. I'm about 3 minutes from there, so I'm hoping to see it really soon. But already it's a pretty nice walk, if I have to say so myself. Even in this heat, it's about, it feels like 23-24 degrees Celsius right now, but it's still pretty good. It's not too hot, not too hot right now because of all the shade. I'm going to see the footbath soon, so I'll let you know how it is. I really wasn't expecting that much of a hike just to get here, but we're almost there, I think. I can see the water at least. It's pretty, the water is pretty creamy color. Making my way back, I checked out the national park to see why this place was called Hell Valley. At the park, there is a trail that you can walk through to take in some more sights and see the mountain and how it's been formed. Unfortunately, I didn't get to go on the trail because of the natural footpath that I went to, and it was getting late, so instead I decided to go back to the hotel to prepare for dinner. So right now I'm staying at Noboribetsu Grand Hotel, and the great thing about this place is the all-you-can-eat buffet. I did a little bit of research about what places to stay at, and a lot of people said this one was recommended, especially because of their dinner buffet. There's a mix of Western and Japanese fusion, and a little bit of Chinese as well. There's some dishes such as tempura, sashimi, curry, Japanese ramen, Chinese-style stir-fried vegetables. There was an Italian section too that had some pizza. Also, the highlight was definitely the crabs. They had a Hokkaido specialty crab that was all you can eat, and that was definitely worth every penny of this place. If you love crab, definitely stay here and go for that. You'll get your money's worth from that. But aside from just the crab itself, everything in the buffet was pretty good actually. Everything was freshly made. Nothing was really sitting out for too long aside from some of the items that weren't too popular. No one wants to eat rice so that they can eat more crab, more sashimi, more tempura, things like that. But overall, the food quality was pretty good for what you get. I definitely had my fill. Definitely the crab was the highlight because everyone went for the crab. But there was a lot of other items that I liked, like the tempura, that was really good. The sashimi was also really good as well. There's a lot of different items in the buffet, pretty much meant for anyone and everyone. Since the buffet is already included with your stay, you might as well just make your most of it. And if you do eat crab, eat as much crab as you like. When I came, dinner started at 6 p.m. and then lasted for 1.5 hours. So from 6 until 7:30. I recommend getting there on time so that you can get a seat as quickly as you can and pretty much get your money's worth. Make the most of your time. Try to stay away from the starch like the rice, ramen, even though it's freshly made ramen. Stay away from those in the beginning at the very least so that you can have more room to eat everything else. And right now, as you can see, I'm in my yukata here back in my room. I just finished going to the hot springs. There are 2 different hot springs that are split by gender depending on the day. So on even numbered days, women will have access to one of the hot springs and men will have access to the other. And then on the odd numbered days, it'll switch around. So then if you do stay here for a night, on the day you arrive, you can go to one of the hot springs, and you want to check out the other hot springs, you can go in the morning to check out the other one so that I don't miss out. I don't really know what the difference is aside from the name. They both have an indoor section and an outdoor section apparently. I'm going to try to check out the other hot spring in the morning if I wake up on time, but we'll see how it goes. But right now, here I'm staying in the family style tatami room. So they set up my bed and then moved my table to the side right there. So this is pretty cool. This is my first time staying at a tatami style room and sleeping on a futon like this. So it'll be a really nice experience. Alright, so I'll see you guys in the morning once I get breakfast. As you can see, I already changed. It is 6:47 right now in the morning, and I just went to check out the second bath that they have. Like I said earlier, they do have 2 baths split between men and women, depending on the day. And today I got to check out the other hot springs to see what's the difference between the 2, and honestly, there's really no difference. For the breakfast buffet, there was a udon section and an assortment of freshly cut fish for you to make your own chirashi bowl, as well as some freshly made tofu. They also had some staple Japanese breakfast items like the rolled egg and a lot of fish options as well. Having to say farewell to the onsen, I hopped back onto the Shinkansen to make my way down to Hakodate. Having to say farewell to the onsen, I hopped back onto the Shinkansen to make my way south to my very last stop, Hakodate. Arriving at Hakodate, I walked over to Kanemori Red Brick Warehouse, which has a lot of little shops that are perfect for gift hunting. For a late lunch, I went to the Lucky Parrot that was nearby to grab a burger. Yes, I ate a burger at Hakodate as my first meal, but there's a good reason for that. Trust me. You see, Lucky Parrot is only found in Hakodate, and they do specialize in burgers, and since I was already here, it was a little bit difficult to pass up on the opportunity. I ordered their most popular Chinese chicken burger. If I had to compare this with something else, think of lightly fried popcorn chicken with some lettuce on top, and then sandwiching that in between two pieces of really soft bread, and that would be similar to what this sandwich is like. On the first bite, the buns were really soft, and the chicken was very juicy, and if anything, I probably could have ate 2 of these if I really wanted to. Walking around for a bit more, I got some ice cream at a local coffee stand before making my way to Mount Hakodate for the night view. Taking the cable car, I got to the top around 1 hour before sunset, and there was already a lot of people. So many people. There were a lot of people already at the top, and everyone was waiting for the sun to set in order to get their perfect nighttime view. I think a lot of people were very patient and didn't move too much in one spot. And a lot of people that already got a picture did move out of the way afterwards so that other people can get their turn. So keep that in mind. You may want to come a little bit later in the night. Maybe there will be less people. There is a restaurant at the observation deck, so I would recommend grabbing some dinner there and grabbing a seat by the window so that you can wait for the perfect night view when the time is right. The next morning, I went to Hakodate's morning market to grab some coffee at Jujiya Coffee. There's a small little bar-like coffee stand inside the market with some very great coffee. There's a very small bar-like coffee stand inside the market with some great coffee. Next, I went to a popular ramen shop called Jioken, which specializes in Hakodate's Shio ramen. I arrived around 30 minutes before they opened, and there was already a line. Once the shop was open, the line did move very quickly, so the wait wasn't too bad overall. This is probably the first time I got a Shio ramen that I could remember, and if you've never had a Shio ramen before, it is a salt-based broth that is specialized in Hakodate. The broth itself was super light and flavorful, and I could see why people were waiting for this shop. While eating the ramen, it did remind me of the Chinese wonton noodle soup that I had a lot as a kid. So I may be a bit biased in saying that I really did enjoy this ramen. And with that, my trip in Hokkaido has ended here with a nice bowl of ramen in Hakodate before rushing my way to the Shinkansen to go to my next stop. From the places I visited, the food I ate, and all the Hokkaido ice cream I consumed, I really did enjoy my time in Hokkaido. Since I visited in September during the summer heat, it would be nice to come back again during the winter to maybe go skiing or enjoy the snow. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.